Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the February 4th, Tuesday, February 4th meeting of the Environmental Commission. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and looking forward to some much-needed rain. Tonight, I'm joined by Vice Chair Schwartz, Chair and Commissioners Randy Falich and Larissa Byrne, as well as city staff. We've also got student commissioners and alternates here. If anyone wants to do public comment, please complete a card. They're in the back of the room, right where it says speaker cards. And just put your name on those, and then if you wouldn't mind, just hand those to Melanice here on the side, and we'll call you up shortly. But first, we are going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Student members, are you guys cool with leading that? Would that be all right? Come on, hand over your heart. You guys know the drill. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. Thanks very much. May I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Thank you, Larissa. Is there a
And
second?
I will second that motion.
Thanks, Whitney. We have a motion and a second. We will now have roll call. You want to lead us in that?
Yes. Chair Cohen,
Yes.
Vice Chair Schwartz, thank you.
Here.
No, that's to the agenda.
Yes.
Commissioner Byrne,
Yes.
and Commissioner Feilish.
Yes.
Wonderful. The motion passes and the agenda is approved. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. We move right into presentations by students. Is that before public?
Yes, we have our presentation section. We go into announcements and
Cool.
then public comment.
Students, are you guys ready? All right, take it away. The Environmental Commission would like to ask our student commissioners to share their updated presentation.
So I'm Gavin, and before I start my update, I just wanted to say that it's been a stressful year so far, and a lot of us know people who have experienced great loss, which just tells us that bodies like the Calabasas Environmental Commission are more important now than ever before. So here's my first update so I started a composting program at Calabasas High School in December. And ever since then, I've been responsible for managing and servicing the bins daily. And we're making some progress. There's been a lot less plastic and a lot more food waste in the bins. So I'd say we're definitely making progress. And this is now officially a Pencil to Planet program, as we're using art to encourage students to compost, as well as teach them how to compost. And next, I was selected as a future Blue Youth Council member, which is part of the Balaseat Ocean Awareness Programs. And this is the world's largest environmental art organization. And I also wrote a blog post about the recent wildfires that can be found on that QR code.
Can you maybe send that to us after?
Yeah.
Would that be all right as well?
And then,
Or have Melanie's.
So at the school board meeting on January 14th, I gave a public comment in support of a climate emergency and action resolution to convince the school board to declare a climate emergency and take action. And I drafted that resolution and then presented it, and I'm now working with the school board and other district staff to move this forward. And also in January, as Vice President and Director of Sustainability for PETA 2 LA County, we conducted a bake sale for animals impacted by the wildfires for the Pasadena Humane Society. And we did this at the Calabasas Farmers Market, and we raised over $800. So yeah, that was great. And also, so I've been submitting my artwork to the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards, and the regional awards just came out. and I got recognized for 5 different pieces. And this is really impactful for me personally because I use art and writing to express my thoughts on environmental damage. And now 2 of these pieces are going to advance to the national stage. And then another award that I was honored with is I was selected as a finalist for the American Climate Leadership Awards, where I was one of 10 finalists selected out of 260 applicants. So this was a really big honor, and I'm really happy to have received this. And I'll be putting this money back into the various environmental works that I'm working on. And now I'll pass it over to Ray.
Hi everyone, it's Ray Schaefer here. Hope everyone's doing well, staying safe, and looking forward to the future after the harsh time that we all had. But here are my updates. So to start, a few weeks ago I competed at the Ivy League Model UN conference, which was hosted by UPenn in Philadelphia. And I debated on topics such as the 2030 Sustainable Agenda and the Sustainable Development of Cities. This was all in the United Nations Development Program Committee. And I did end up winning an award, and it was a great experience learning about sustainability in the future of our world. And then I'm also excited to announce that last month I was selected onto the National Roots and Shoots Youth Council, and this is under the Jane Goodall Foundation. And soon I'm going to be working with the Los Angeles base camp here. I'm meeting with them, and hopefully they're going to help me with some projects. And other than that, I'm also looking forward to working with various mentors and hopefully one day Jane Goodall herself. And then, so this is an organization that I have with my good friend Ben Orslan, and I briefly mentioned it, I think, at the election speech for the student council here, or the student members, but I never really talked about it. And in light of the forum coming up with this being the primary topic, the Wallace-Annenberg Wildlife Crossing, I just wanted to kind of talk about my organization. So it's called P22 Wildlife Awareness, and with Ben, we have hosted assemblies at elementary schools, and our goal is to spread awareness to the younger generation on P22's story and the importance of wildlife conservation and the crossing. We have collaborated with many biologists from National Park Services and other organizations, as well as LVSD board members and Agora City Council members. And we have presented to 5 schools, all 4 of them in LVSD and 1 of them in the Manhattan Beach School District. And we have reached about over 1,200 students. And hopefully me and Ben are looking to give a short speech at the Environmental Forum just to speak on our experience and spread awareness, all while engaging student involvement and representing the younger generation. And that's it. I'm passing it on to Skylar.
Thank you, Ray. Testing, is this on? Can you hear me? Hello, it's Skylar here. So yeah, it's been a very stressful last few weeks with all the fires, and my heart goes out to anyone who lost their home or had to deal with power outages or anything like that. So I don't have any specific slides to share, but David and I, we were able to acquire a new location for the Bags for Benches program. It's called the Village Dry Cleaners. It's in the Gelson's Plaza, and with David's a little bit of persuasion, we were able to place a box there, and hopefully we added I believe our 9th location. Is that correct? 8th location to our other 7 that we already have, and we hope that this will bring them great business as well as just cleaning up the environment in general. And yeah, other than that, I've just been adjusting to attending Moore Park College and finding new opportunities there. Thank you.
And adding on to that, we wanted to share that we have reached 1,000 pounds for the Bags for Benches recycling program, where we will now be receiving a bench, which will be placed at Calabasas High School. So we're really excited to have reached this goal.
And just moving on, that bench should be delivered in about 6 to 8 weeks. We chose the sandcastle color, and Mr. Watke is going to help us find the proper location for this. We're also working with Ms. Sneed, and I think Mr. Watke also wants us to get the public opinion of some of the students. I think we're either going to talk to them directly or administer a survey, something like that. And then don't worry, our work is not done. We are starting the 2nd Bags for Benches program, and we're looking forward, and we're moving faster than ever. We recently picked up this big plastic tarp that was on Topanga and Moholen, and that should be about 150 pounds. We're cleaning it right now, and we've already dropped off about 30 of it, I think. And yeah, that's it.
And one more thing I wanted to add on is a new piece of artwork I've created in light of like the wildlife crossing. It's inspired by the Annenberg Wildlife Crossing, and it's as well as the beetles, and it's showing coexistence between humans and animals. Thank you.
It's really nice, Gavin. Maybe you can share that with Melanie and have her share that and the piece from your presentation. I wasn't able to click on that fast enough, if that's okay. Any questions for the student members? No. Thank you all very much. I think the hope is that the second bench, assuming that we hit the 1,000, which I think we're on track to do. I think the hope that might be in front of the senior center or one of the community centers. For those people who just came in, I mentioned earlier that if you would like to speak, please do grab a card where it says speaker card and just write your name and then hand that to Melanie. We'll be calling on public for comments shortly. And next, we move into announcements. Are there any commission announcements? Anybody want to start?
Well, Larissa and I started our conversation with Melanie's about the Green Business Program, and it's going to be an impactful program, and I'm really excited about having businesses see just the simple steps they could do to pivot and make a difference.
Great, I'm excited about that. Anybody else want to?
I just wanted to, extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the first responders, the sheriffs, the firefighters, and anyone else who was affected by the fires. And that's it for me.
I just want to say to the kids, the young students in this room, you're remarkable. I have to say, every time you do a presentation, I'm so amazed that you're juniors in high school, except for the graduate junior over there. But I just really appreciate all you're doing. It's got an eye on the future, and I can't touch plastic anymore without really thinking about it and what I'm going to do with it, and how. Thanks to you guys and working with you. So thanks for all you've done. It's really remarkable. Okay.
I just read something about the math on an impact. So when you say you've only spoke to 1,200 kids, you've actually impacted like 12,000 people. Way to go.
Nicely done. Yeah, I just want to echo a couple of comments. First, I feel privileged to work with all of you guys, all you students. And there's only 3 of you who are sitting up here, but there's another dozen students who are picking up plastic, who are working on the art project that's starting at the high school. There's going to be 200 kids participating in that. There are kids cleaning up our creeks. You guys are cleaning our city and taking care of our city. So I'm just echoing Larissa's comments. I also want to echo Randy's comments by thanking staff, because this room was headquarters during the wildfire, the outages, and for me, I just didn't have power, but there were people dealing with much worse issues than that, and so I'm thankful. Curtis, I saw you on some of the websites, and thankful that you and your team are all here keeping us safe. So want to echo those comments. I also, somewhat unrelated, but Calabasas High School, I just happen to know, is collecting clothes and items. And there's one pile that's new clothes, there's one pile that's old clothes, and I've been delivering, people have been leaving it in my garage, so I've delivered the last couple days, and they'll be collecting through Thursday. So anybody who does have stuff or knows people who said, what can I drop stuff? Calabasas High School, they've got a big sign that they're collecting for Palisades High School, which is, to me, is so cool, right? That there's that connection student to student. So that's it for my announcements. Forum. I know we'll talk about it, but Randy has secured the amazing Beth Pratt. So we are very excited. Everyone in this room and everyone watching and everyone who's not involved should be attending this forum at Founders Hall, right next door. this month, February 20th. You're going to hear more about it, but I'm just plugging it while I can because it's going to be an amazing forum. It's going to be about, as Gavin mentioned, the wildlife crossing, which is between us and Agora, but it's also going to be about the impact of the wildfires, about about our wilderness, and there's going to be a fantastic panel. Former Mayor Fred Gaines is moderating. Hopefully Ray and his P22 partner Ben will be speaking, and I'm really just so excited about this program. So please do attend. I guess that's it. If not stated by others. All right, Melanie, thank you for the cue on that. I just mentioned the forum, which is February 20th, 6 p.m. at Founders Hall, right behind the library. If you don't know where that is, ask us after the meeting or send emails or look it up. Shortly after that, less than a month later, our annual Arbor Day celebration, which is our tree planting celebration, that will take place March 15th, and that will be at Wild Walnut Park. We've done it over the years at various parks, schools, and it's really cool. You get a lot of citizens turning out, a lot of students and scouting troops, and I hope people will join us. Again, that is March 15th at 10 a.m. Usually that's pretty quick, usually takes an hour or so. So if you have kids or friends, bring them along. And the next event, about a month after that, is our Earth Day celebration and our Green Expo, which will be April 12th this year. Obviously, Earth Day is about a week later, but our citywide event is going to be on Las Virgenes Creek, so basically across from Albertsons and the Starbucks at the Albertson Center. Please come. It's for several hours all afternoon on April 12th, and there's a whole Green Expo, and it's nice to support the vendors and people that come and support our city and our environmental initiatives. And then we will meet again on May 6th. So there's a lot of exciting things. This is our busy time of year for this commission. And so hopefully we'll see a lot of you. And that's it for announcements. All right, let's move into oral communication. Public comment. Melanie, are there any public members wishing to speak?
Yes, we have one public speaker card, Chair. It's from Ms. Michelle Geller, and you can approach the podium. You have 3 minutes.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Concern here is obviously the wildfires. We are concerned, and obviously hearts go out to everyone that lost homes in the fires. The concern is that we have learned that the Calabasas landfill is going to be accepting fire debris as early as March. And if you guys don't know, and I've just alerted you, that's even more concerning to me. So as Gavin had indicated, now more than ever, this commission's influence and care about the environment is of the utmost importance. I saw it through a post on the I think it was the LA County Sanitation website that stated that the Calabasas landfill is going to be accepting, quote, non-hazardous debris. I think at this point, there is no knowledge right now of how hazardous all the materials in the Palisades are. I read a statistic that out of the 6,500 structures that burned in that area, 73% were built before 1980 and most likely have asbestos. I asked the landfill how they were going to be accepting the material, whether they were going to be doing it in kind of a confine, similar how you would need to take asbestos out of a house, negative air pressure, enclosed, HEPA filters. They were not able to answer any of these questions. This landfill sits behind Lupin Elementary. It is in all of our community if we live in Calabasas. It is a grave concern that everyone is alerting this as a 9/11 issue. We all know. We can look at the data of what 20 years after 9/11 posed in terms of health ramifications for people that were exposed to all of the contaminants that were deemed safe at that point to then go and repopulate that area and not. I don't know how we can stop the landfill from taking this type of material because there's no doubt about it, there's going to be hazardous components, and it is going to be a grave concern to our community. We have started a petition within about 72 hours. We have upwards of 1,200 to 1,400 signatures already on it, but my concern is the lack of awareness that people don't realize it's going to be happening. So I'm even more concerned that you guys didn't know. That is all I have for my comment.
Thanks very much. Just so people know, when this is, we don't enter into a whole discussion because it's not on our agenda. We appreciate your comments very much. I actually read Lindsay Horvath's comments that it wasn't going to be hazardous personally. So maybe staff can give us some updates on that, if that wouldn't be bad. But
Actually, Chair, we can't discuss non-agendized items, but I do appreciate the public comment and also encourage those who are concerned to show up to city council meetings as well.
yeah, thank you very much. Are there any other public comments?
Yes, Chair, we have 2 more public comments. The next one is from Cami Holmes. I apologize if I mispronounced that. You have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Same item. Thank you, Ms. Geller. I have signed your petition. I support you. I have signed her petition. I support her. I applaud her for being the first one here to share this information. And just to follow up, sorry this is not on the agenda, but I do just want to give more information. I've been chasing this since Friday. It is detrimental. And we're not just talking about the phase 2. There's a phase 1 where they're going to clean the asbestos and hazardous materials out of the debris. However, they're only going to do the visible asbestos. That's a huge problem because then there's a scapegoat. Then you can do all the invisible asbestos, which you can't really see. Most asbestos is going to be dumped into our Calabasas landfill. This is 400 yards away from homes where people have children, where people have families, where people have dreams. And we know this is toxic. We know it. It's been proven before. We've got, I've been chasing the EPA. They've been evasive. They say that they're going to do the visible asbestos. They're not saying anything else. We have the Calabasas landfill that states they don't take asbestos. Well, they're going to have to if we're going to be dumping it here. And it's not only what's being put in the Calabasas landfill, it's how the other 1 million+ trucks are going to be transported of the hazardous materials. We know in Hawaii this was done with a 1/4 inch plastic sheet. Oh, and that was their containment. That is not enough. They're going to be driving these trucks likely right past my son's school, which is A.E. Wright, and there's going to be 1 million of them. And I don't know if these people who, going back to the Hawaii details, the 4 months that it took them to do 1/5 the amount of containment that needed to happen, they're enforcing it in 30 days here. The federal government says 30 days. That is not enough to do this properly. It is not enough to do it safely. And where can we get the information? I'm having so much trouble getting information. There's lots of forums, and here, click this link, get that. I need your help. This is our community. These are our people, and we have to protect them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, we appreciate people coming and speaking. We're not trying to be cold or unresponsive, but this isn't, it's public comment. So, any other, please.
Yes, we have 1 more public comment from Sophia Tusi. I apologize if I mispronounced your name.
Thank you.
Hello,
Hey.
my name is Sophia Tusi. I actually grew up here in Calabasas. A little bit about myself. I have 2 degrees in public health. So I have a degree from CSUN, Cal State Northridge in public health, Bachelor's of Science, spent 3.5 years there. And 2 years at Columbia University in New York City. It's not an easy school. I know there's some young people here. I'm here to tell you that there's not a lot of jobs in public health. I'm unemployed. I worked for Los Angeles County very briefly, and I left because I didn't grow as a professional. And now, you know, these people come out here today. I didn't even know there's gonna be a landfill in Calabasas, the place that I grew up in. That's concerning. That's really concerning that I had to, you know, that was the first source of information that I received from the community, and you guys don't seem to care or even know that this was gonna happen. That's really concerning because you have a big position of power, and I don't think you seem to care by like not knowing that. That's really concerning. As a young person, I just turned 26. This is the future right here. So thank you for having them here. Thank you for giving them the opportunity to be here and speak. That really means a lot. I'm just like, wow, like I can't believe, I'm so grateful that you guys came out here today to bring up this issue because, you know, asbestos is not good. That needs to be looked at. And just look at today. Who is the leader of this country? Donald Trump. He's getting rid of everything. Like, this is concerning. We need leaders that care about health, public health. We need that. We really need that. We can't ignore this. We really can't. Because, you know, as the public commenter said, there's ramifications to having a landfill over time. We won't see it right away, but it'll come in decades. So thank you so much for having the courage to come here and speak and use your voice, because that really does mean something. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to all the people. Any others? No.
I don't have any other public comment cards. Are there any other public comments?
No. Thank you to all the people who spoke. And as Curtis said, remember, we're the Environmental Commission, so we are acting on behalf of the City Council, and we strongly encourage everyone to go. You get the opportunity to do public comment there as well, and they have the ability to legislate. So when is that meeting? It's next Wednesday. It happens to be a week from tomorrow, right here. I happen to know that. It's my anniversary, and I'm coming in so I can get sworn in.
So that's February 12th at 7 p.m. in this room.
Yeah, and by the way, with regard to our commission, we do encourage people to get involved. We have a lot of subcommittees. We have, you know, as people have spoken about different projects and programs that we're doing. You know, the green business is starting up, things like that. So we hope that citizens will take part and join in all of our efforts. We hope to see you at Arbor Day, the Forum, Earth Day. Okay. Thank you again for people who attended and spoke. Consent items. Moving on to that. Is there a motion? Does anybody want to, so I asked for consent items before the calendar, the thing?
So the consent items encompass the meeting minutes and a few other items, but for this meeting, it's just our meeting minutes. And you can approve all consent items in one motion.
Okay. So the meeting minutes is part of the consent.
So for example, you ask for a motion and you can say, I move to approve the consent calendar.
Which
And then
right now is all,
That would just be our 1 minutes for December 10th, 2024.
So currently, yes, like Melanie said, we have just the meeting minutes. In future meetings, you could potentially have other consent items, which would be items that you could review prior to the meeting, but didn't really necessarily require a presentation or anything. You would have the right to pull those items and request a staff presentation, but it's typically items that are more day-to-day business. And in this case, it's just our minutes for tonight. So you would just move the consent calendar if you're okay with the minutes, and then we can approve them.
please.
On the December 10th, that's when we're doing, it says twice, under number 3 and number 4, it's the same. Commissioner Byrne moved, Vice Chair Swartz seconded to reschedule the meeting to another date. It's the same thing twice. Is that?
I'll review this and we'll make the appropriate changes. So we can move with a slight modification to update that number 3 and number 4.
Should we table approving the minutes then?
You can,
I would suggest that you move forward with, so essentially I think what's happened is you would need to pull the minutes. So you've pulled the minutes from consent, which we'll just go with that. And we'll take the note, and staff will make those corrections. And if that's acceptable to the commission, we can still approve the item with the modifications mentioned by Commissioner Byrne.
Even if it's just a typo or a, okay, clerical error?
So do me a favor, everybody go to page 4 of your screen. That's the minutes from the last meeting. And Larissa caught one item that she would like reviewed. So while we're doing this, let's just, before we give a blanket vote, let's just make sure that there's anything else anybody catches, mistakes or anything, that we address it just take 1 minute.
Number 3 is correct. Number 4, it says number 3's motion again. That's all. Couple words. Just.
That's cool. I'm glad you caught that. Melanie, are you seeing what she's talking? Okay, cool. Are there other items people want to bring up?
Just for quick clarification, so for item 4 in the meeting minutes, do we know which commissioner moved it?
It was probably us, but the thing is, it says it's moved. Number 3 says this was a motion to move the meeting to November 13th, and number 4 says this was a motion to move the November meeting to the 13th.
I see the
See
second
that?
part of that. Got it.
That's
During
okay.
the December meeting, we didn't have a vote on this item. You had given us comments and requested that we make revisions to the presentation. So I'll update this information on the minutes, and you can approve the minutes with the requested adjustment, and then we can move forward and make the revision on our end, and then the chair can sign off, and we can publish those minutes.
Yay, okay.
Perfect.
Great.
So in the future, did everyone get this before with the agenda? Yeah, so in the future, we should all take a look, and I'm as guilty as anyone.
And-
Okay.
And if we can get to staff before the meeting, so just if
Correct.
it's a typo, it's okay. That's, thank you.
Or bring it up here when
When we
when
do
the
this.
chair says, do we vote consent? We say, well, I have something to fix, like you just did. So what you did.
Preferably beforehand, right? Okay, yeah.
But during the meeting is fine as well, because we publish the agenda at the same time that we send it to you. So once it's made a public document, we don't really revise it until an amendment is made. Correct me if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I think we can, but it's probably actually cleaner to do it in the meeting.
Okay.
Shoot us an email or let us know if it's coming and we can be prepared, right? But it's still good to make it public so that we have it on record.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In the meeting, we're all here. So now that we've caught that, and we have all looked at the meeting minutes, is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
With your modification?
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you both. Melanie, do you want to give us the roll call?
Yes, we had a motion from Commissioner Byrne and a second from Vice Chair Schwartz. I will now do a roll call. Chair Cohen?
Yes.
Vice Chair Schwartz? Yes. Commissioner Byrne?
Yes.
And Commissioner Feilish?
Yes.
Wonderful. The minutes pass, and we will insert those requested amendments. Thank you. Do we have any public comment on this item? Just for the record, there's no one in the audience.
Okay, let's move into continued business, and the next item is our subcommittee updates. Commissioners, do you have any updates for your respective subcommittees? This is also a chance to share any lessons learned or debrief on events and programs related to our commission. So I'm going to make a comment about that when Melanie and I met prior to this meeting, I was saying that I wanted to make sure that we institutionalize the opportunity to debrief on our events or programs or activities. So, for instance, we had the calendar, the recycling calendar. Last meeting, the students were here and gave speeches. If people have any things that they would like to suggest that might make it better for next year, this is the opportunity to do that. And similarly, we could debrief in the next meeting about maybe ways that the subcommittee working on the forum might do improvements, or the subcommittee on Arbor Day or on Earth Day. And so hopefully, because of the Brown Act, we can't just sit around and chat about it, but we can here. So this is the opportunity to talk about, were there things that, that happened in the last program, the Pumpkin Festival? Were there things we could be doing so it's better, so we're not finding ourselves in September with that subcommittee, scrambling to throw something together? They might have ideas that we've brought to them months ahead. So with that said, I'm going to open it up. If anybody does have any suggestions or thoughts for ways to make things better, Like the Pumpkin Festival, the calendar, or
Well,
just?
I am on the Earth Day Committee, and so I will echo what I've said before, that I believe the Earth Day Festival should be longer, all day, and at City Hall's outdoor pavilion.
So let's talk about that. Is that, so staff, if the committee, if the subcommittee made a formal recommendation, I mean, where do we go with that? Like, if the rest of us agree with Whitney,
You know, I looked into this and I'm forgetting all of the details. I was told that it couldn't be held here at City Hall, so I can report back with that, and I can do that by email. But let me get the facts straight again, and just check that.
The Honor Society or yeah, they were able to make that happen. So I thought that was interesting. Don't know what pull they had, but maybe I need to talk to them. I'm just kidding.
Let me follow up with you on that.
and you know, even if it can't be done for Earth Day in 3 months, please, number one, get back to us and let us know why it can or cannot, but also could it potentially be done in 26 or 27? So we got the same issue with with Gavin's Pencil to Planet program, right? With hanging the artwork. We can't use the tennis and swim center in 2025, but potentially in 6 or 7 or in the future. So if I think Whitney's point is a good one, and if we can help make that happen, I would like to support the subcommittee on that.
I'd like to make a comment based on 2 years ago, Earth Day. There was so many people, it was behind Albertsons over there off Las Virgenes, and so many people with children, and being able to walk down to the creek right there from the booths. We were talking, and people would say, "What's down there?" And I'd say, "Are you kidding? Go down there and see." And so many people could take the advantage of that. And then other people, I would tell them, "Look across the way. See those hills? That's what we're here for." Things like that, where it is such that side of town is so different and so natural, it seems.
Right.
That's what I liked about it being over there. It may not be the best location, depending on which side of the street it's on, but it was really fun to tell people, go see the creek. Come back and tell me what you think.
Yeah, I do agree that the creek is awesome,
Yeah.
and I would encourage all the elementary school teachers to be informed about the creek and that nature walk, and have those teachers take on communicating, or maybe the young people. But the thing about it over there is that I've had so many experiences with it being at that location, and being at the market to get something to drink or to eat, running into people I know, and them having no idea that it was happening there. So just something with more exposure is something that I would like to see happen.
I agree with Whitney's comment completely. Going back several years when I was on that subcommittee, the city actually purchased a giant globe, because my point was, people are coming to Albertsons or Sharky's to get food. They don't even know it's Earth Day. They're literally in the parking lot of our event, and they don't know it's happening. So totally agree that the creek is a gift and we should be showing it off, and I totally also agree that the program does not have nearly the exposure it should. And so I know that we put the billboard on Las Virgenes. I know we put a banner. We've also put one when you're coming off the freeway at Parkway Calabasas. But if there were a way to have people who are going to Starbucks or going to Albertsons or going to McDonald's or whatever that is, know that this is one of our big flagship events. Come check it out. I don't know I'm opening it up. If anyone has ideas of how, like I said, that blow up globe is in one of these closets here or something, or storage place. But any other thoughts? No. Yeah, well, we're talking about Earth Day. Do you want to?
No, I mean, are we talking to the subcommittees?
Okay, all right, we're done with Earth Day?
Oh, okay.
We're done with debriefing on that one? Sure, let's go
Okay.
to the next subcommittee. Let's go to the next
Okay, do you want to go in order, or did you want to just go around, or what did you want to do?
You know what? Sure. Let's go in order. Why don't
Okay.
you speak about the forum,
Okay.
please?
Well, I don't want to be redundant, but as you said, our environmental forum is coming up on Thursday, February 20th from 6 to 8 at Founders Hall. We are going to have the National Wildlife Federation. We will have National Park Service wildlife biologists. We will have Caltrans and their agency partners. We're very excited to invite everyone to Founders Hall, and it should be an unbelievable event. So we will be doing publicity on it. I know that National Wildlife Federation's PR firm is doing some of the advertising. I will be writing 2 letters to the editor for both the Calabasas Enterprise and for the Acorn. And I assume we're going to have the banner on the side of the freeway, the off-ramp at Parkway Calabasas?
We're working on that right now.
Okay, excellent. Okay.
I think the students are also doing a lot to promote the program, and so I think we're going to have, historically, we've had a lot of students attend. Teachers have given extra credit, and Ray, did you want to say something about that?
Yeah, so I spoke with Ms. Sneed today, actually. So we are going to promote the environmental forum to the Calabasas High students through Roots and Shoots, and we're going to offer extra credit opportunities for the APES classes, which is AP Environmental Science, and also some NHS service hours. But Ms. Sneed did bring up a concern that if she were to have, well, she has 80 students across her APES classes and then plus extra Roots and Shoots people. She was just concerned that if we were to engage such a large amount of students, if there would be space for everybody.
Yeah, it's a great point. Dr. Bennett did the same thing, and the room was full, just with students. It's a great point, and frankly, I was going to ask you guys, can someone contact Viewpoint? Can someone, right? I mean, we could just go crazy. So it's a question, I guess, for staff, and in terms of standing room only, if it gets to that point, because the students definitely come for the extra credit as well as, the ones who are interested.
We can get some information
No,
on
last year
capacity
was
of
a bit
Founders
of an
Hall.
anomaly. But I don't think the school promoted it as much last year. But if hypothetically, I think, just to answer Ray's question, if that was a concern the teacher had, if she's got 80 students, if she tells them, I'm giving you extra credit if you show up.
Yeah, like Melanie was starting off, we can look into the capacity, which is a fire marshal rule on the room, and the good thing about where we're having it this year in Founders Hall is we do have outdoor space, so we sort of have some overflow. I mean, so people can cycle in and out. Let me look into that because I don't know the capacity of that room off the top of my head. I would say continue to promote it to the students, and we'll follow up.
I would suggest you tell the teachers that if they're going to tell the students to come, that it's a limited space. So if it really matters to them, get there early.
Also, if needed, if there is a certain capacity, and obviously there's probably going to be a lot of kids, because I know she's offering a lot of extra credit. Last year, I know it wasn't really advertised, but it is going to be a lot more this year. If needed, we could probably create a spreadsheet and get people who would come without extra credit, and then if it needed to fill it up, we could administer that and just have a spreadsheet with a certain amount of people that we would bring if needed.
Yeah.
Can I say something? Last year, it was not at Founders Hall, remember? It was over at the Tennis and Swim Center, and that was a small room. We were packed in it.
Two rooms.
Right. And you guys were in that entry room, right, with Roots and Shoots? So Founders Hall is a lot bigger. We had a lot of people in there for a public safety thing that they did, and I don't think 100, well, Curtis will find out, but.
Do we know what the capacity is actually for Founders Hall?
I can find out. I don't
Okay.
know offhand.
Okay.
Ray, one comment I would make is I would mention to Ms. Sneed that it was very successful when Dr. Bennett was giving extra credit. There were years that we, the environmental commissioners, were signing, that they attended. They had to bring a slip or something. So you may want to mention to Ms. Sneed to call Dr. Bennett and just ask how did she do it logistically to make it work, because it worked well from the past. Any other questions it's going to be a great program, and if you don't ask questions, Randy and I are just going to keep talking about it. All right. Like I say, hopefully we get some people from Agora and as well, and hopefully it's a big success. So look forward to that. Next, Arbor Day. Arbor Day. Here we go. Arbor Day is Whitney and our dear friend Beth. So I think we should talk a little bit about this, right? So presently Beth's chair is empty, and her council member Alicia Weintraub will be at some point will be picking someone else, and that has to be approved by the city council. So for now, that spot, there are 4 of us. So in terms of commissions, subcommittees, thank you. In terms of the subcommittees, the question is, we shouldn't leave Whitney hanging by herself. So does anybody have a passion, Randy or Larissa, do either of you, because if not,
What are the responsibilities?
yeah, maybe we could talk about that. Good question.
In terms of Arbor Day, just really being a resource for staff, and we can work together to put on the event. For now, a majority of the event has been completed in terms of tree spacing, tree quotes, organizing the event, the flyer, updating the website and such. But we're always happy to coordinate and have commissioners on site during the meeting or during the event to be a resource to the community and provide their expertise and share resources. So hopefully all of you can join. I don't think that would be a Brown Act violation if they're at their own event.
Correct. It's a public event open to the community, so all commissioners could attend.
No, there's no.
I'll step on that subcommittee with you.
I honestly
all
don't
right.
think
Gladly.
there's that much to do.
She already
so,
just said,
yeah,
so yeah,
I'm-
okay.
We're a good team. We can
And I'll step
continue.
on with her, and then when we get a new person, we can go through the motions. What do we do?
Good.
Do we need
Cool,
to do a
but make sure
formal
everybody-
vote, I believe, to recruit her into the subcommittee?
What?
A motion and a second to recruit Ms. Byrne into the subcommittee?
All right, does anybody else want to run for the position of, yeah, I do. I'm going to run against you. All right, should we give speeches?
Yeah, we still are, but there's an empty position with Beth gone. Oh, I see. So we're trying to
So
not leave Whitney by herself.
And
in
the
that.
position, the Arbor Day event is in March, so we're just trying to make sure we do our best to. So I don't see any other nominations, so I'll entertain a motion to approve Commissioner Byrne for the Arbor Day Subcommittee. Does anybody want to nominate her?
Second.
I second it.
No.
You nominated her, I second it.
Yeah, okay.
All right, cool. All right,
So we have a motion by Chair Cohen, a second by Commissioner Feilish.
yeah.
I'll do a roll call now. Chair Cohen?
Aye,
Vice
yes.
Chair Schwartz? Yes. Commissioner Byrne?
Yes.
And Commissioner Feilish?
Yes.
Perfect. We have the motion, passes 4-0. Commissioner Byrne, welcome to the Arbor Day Subcommittee.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for stepping up, Larissa.
You bet.
Earth Day. We talked a little bit about that. Whitney and, again, it's Whitney and Larissa. You guys are carrying our
Force.
commission at this point. Hopefully, so long as it's, not a Brown Act violation, communicate with Melanie if there's information, things that we can all plan on attending and share. And
Sure.
like in the past, for instance, the Green Expo. The Green Expo is when we try to get businesses to have booths. So it's not a Brown Act violation if everyone tries to find businesses to support it and lets staff know about these businesses, right? So if we can be of assistance through staff, it doesn't have to all be on Whitney and Larissa. Is everybody clear on that? Including students, right? Is it staff? Are you cool with that? What I'm saying?
Students can always be part of a subcommittee.
I'm not asking to be
Right.
part of the subcommittee. I'm saying if we know businesses for the Green Expo and we
Oh,
can
yeah.
turn those over to staff,
Hmm?
that would assist the members who are on the
Oh,
subcommittee.
yeah.
Cool. All right, so even though we're not on the subcommittee, the rest of us will try our best to give staff information and support our teammates.
Thank you, Chair Cohen.
Please.
Thank
Yeah?
you.
Oh, cool.
Thank
All
you.
right, good. So why, I noticed Pumpkin Festival and calendar are crossed off because we don't have, because they're dissolved.
Exact. They both completed their duties or their obligations, and they can be reestablished at the May meeting, unless you would like to reestablish one of those subcommittees today. And that can be a discussion amongst the group if you'd
Yeah,
like
so-
to move forward with that.
So here's the arguments both ways, okay? Later on in this meeting, we're going to be appointing a new chair and vice chair, correct? So I'm perfectly happy with the new chair taking the lead on subcommittees. If we wait till May, then that's 3 months that nobody's working on pumpkin or calendar, the recycling calendar. The reality is there's not a lot that's going to happen between now and then. So I'm open either way. Does anybody feel strongly like, sure, let's get it going again? We're going to have to do it. But if we want to wait till May, it's perfectly, I mean, there's going to be a lot on the May agenda, but I'm perfectly fine either way. If anybody has thoughts?
I have some thoughts. I think that we should wait till May for the remainder of the year events, only so that the new commissioner could participate and be on a subcommittee.
I agree.
All right, cool. So we will hold off on that. So that's both pumpkin and recycling calendar. I hope that the new chair will encourage us to continue with those efforts. The next one is green business certification. Larissa and Whitney.
We kind of talked about that, didn't we? Yeah.
All right. Is there any timeline? Is there anything that,
Yeah, but we're just, Melanie has things to do until we can launch it. So we're just waiting for her to take care of
We're getting everything crystallized, and then Whitney and I will go to businesses with what we can.
cool. All right, keep us posted, please, on that. And then the next one is Flora for the Future. And that's
Flora for the Future.
Randy.
Okay. So Beth and I had started working on it. I know, Gavin, you were a little bit involved in it as your summer internship with the Las Virgenes Municipal Water District. I did speak with Craig Jones, who I believe misses you there. And he is in charge of, obviously, the conservation efforts. And they're dealing with a lot more right now than just our committee things. They have 108 homes that were lost during the fires, and they have all this government regulatory action that they need to fill out, forms. They need to do water, analyzing of water. They need to do, regulatory tasks. I took a couple notes when I was on the phone with him. At any rate, he said it's not hard to pull it together. It's going to take a little time. And this isn't obviously a priority right now. So I believe that when we reconvene in May, perhaps the new commissioner and I can work on this, and we'll get an order of a mix of maybe some spring flowers together, and it'll be a more appropriate time to work on this with the Las Virgenes Municipal Water District. Okay? Unless anybody has any comments.
My only question would be, do you want one of us to be to be on the subcommittee with you, or you think because it's essentially on hold, we may as well just wait till May,
I think we should wait till May.
and then whichever one of the four of us wants to can join you?
Exactly.
Okay, does anybody
Okay.
feel otherwise? All right, cool.
Okay,
So
thank
we will
you.
just leave a vacancy on that for now. Cool, all right, I think that's all of our subcommittees. Oh, no, oh my God. Larissa, Student Involvement Engagement Subcommittee.
Okay, I already said what I really wanted to say. You guys are the future. It's amazing to work with you. I have gone to businesses by myself without you to check on how you're doing. And all I hear are glowing reports. Oh, they're so responsible. They're right on time. Oh, blah, blah. I mean, really, all of y'all. Michael is not here, but I want to represent him too because he's been on my side of town over there in Las Virgenes Valley. He has been remarkable. All of y'all have done your part, and I think we made that goal in half the time, you guys. Less than half the time. And that's because of your efforts and being on top of it. And Waste Management helped us out. You know, the people that got on board, like the Senior Center, they are so willing and so delighted because I think you guys are coming with this fresh perspective about how to think and how to behave and how we can change our habits. And it's hard to get to us older people with that stuff sometimes. You've done a remarkable job, and I think starting a new campaign is pretty cool too. And you guys, I wish I could have all the people that I've met with you. At school, we have people approach us that want to be involved. Students approach Dave and I when we're at Calabasas High and want to be involved. We had so many to vote from. It's horrific when you have to pick one or two, but we got 4 or 5 of the best. You 4 that I've worked with are really, you restore my hope in the future. So thank you for what you've done, and the next thing will, who knows what this one will do. Maybe you'll do it in less time. Be great. So thanks.
Cool, thank you. I'm gonna make a couple of comments, but I have a question, Melanie. There's, on my thing that says, encourage and support student involvement. Should I be reading that? Idea, purpose, the piece that says idea, purpose, is all right if I just read this? Or so it says, encourage and support student involvement of community members, not limited to only high school students. Develop a student advisory committee and participate in other engagement opportunities.
I think some of those notes, you definitely can read those aloud. They're also just reminders on the goals of the subcommittee. And this just, not to bring back the past, but sometimes our subcommittees, I think, went a little bit off track. And so that's just there as
Just to help.
what you're reporting on, what, you know, we want to see some progress, not necessarily at every meeting, but we all want to see progress on certain goals and agenda items within the subcommittee. So that's what those notes are there
I
for.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
So just a couple of comments with regard to that. So one of them is when it says not only for high school students, I appreciate that you guys have made efforts to connect with younger students, with middle schools, elementaries. I think there's more opportunities for that. Something came up about engaging, like your P22 thing, and so I think that the subcommittee may want to have some conversations about opportunities to educate, and we should be encouraging the middle schools and elementary schools to attend our forum and Earth Day and Arbor Day, and like I say, I think this subcommittee has inspired the seniors, so I think that's really kind of cool. I also want to comment that Skylar, for one, is no longer a high school student. So you are still high school age. So so you need to mind your P's and Q's when you're talking to us up here. But it is a question for, probably for the commission, is ultimately right now the city is reviewing municipal codes in terms of students. And so one question that might be helpful is I know years ago there were students that ran who were very active at Calabasas High School, but technically lived in Woodland Hills, and so they were disqualified. They weren't able to run for those spots, but they were able to serve on subcommittees. So it would be helpful, I think, going forward, for us all to maybe clarify a little bit. Can junior high school people be on this subcommittee? And what do we, Larissa and I can run with it, but I think it's important that we interact with staff on this. So it would be a good conversation for us so that we don't go astray, but also so that we do continue to grow and connect with the community.
So just so we know, the request is just, I guess, revolves around sort of the maybe limits or boundaries of what the subcommittee can do as far as reaching out to students, or I just want to make sure we research what you're looking for.
Part of it also, Skylar's a great example. Can we have college students? At what point?
Okay, so I think we can definitely dig more and come back to you with information on this.
helpful.
But just to provide some information here, The municipal code does allow for one student commissioner who needs to be a high school student.
So-
Now, as far as students being involved in subcommittees, coming to meetings, that, for sure, high school and older,
Right.
of course, can be involved. Now, when they're minors, we'll look into how that could work for middle school kids and younger, but definitely anyone that's of high school age and starting college can show up and help out.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's my sense as well.
Yeah.
I was more asking in terms, Skylar's a case study. He's here. We don't meet again until May, and May, new students run, and there's going to be issues with interpreting the municipal code one way or another in terms of that. So, but I just want clarification in terms of us. I don't want to be told, oh, you guys ran afoul of the city or whatever.
Well, so we are allowed only one
Right, so in
student
May, we're going
commissioner,
to
but
deal with that.
we do want to encourage, and this is speaking to the students, like even with that moving forward, we won't have alternate student members, but that shouldn't limit involvement. And if there needs to be some kind of recognition that those students who remain involved need, we can work on that offline.
Right.
Even though they
I
won't
don't-
technically they won't be alternate members, we can still find ways to involve them and give them the recognition that they need.
Right, right. My position is I don't support that, and I'm hoping the municipal code is revised by May. So that would solve a lot of problems. But either way, that's a separate issue. That's the student rep. But in terms of the student engagement, so one of the things is there's a new program that this subcommittee is starting that maybe, Gavin, you can speak to, since it was kind of your baby.
I think we have a presentation on that later in the agenda.
Oh, all right.
But I also had a question. So I know there was some talk about like a formal youth advisory environmental committee. Is that still like a possibility?
Wait, you know what, I would like some discussion of it here. I know later on it's going to be brought up so that it can be voted on, but I would like, since it relates to our subcommittee, I think if you can just touch on it here as well, I would appreciate that.
Okay, so basically, we've been working with the Calabasas High School Art Department to implement an environmental art curriculum for 200 art students. And we're moving forward with this, and we're working with the city as well to recognize these students and possibly hang the artwork at a city site. And that's just a brief overview, but I'll dive more deeper into that later.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Just to answer your question, student member, Tessa.
Will you repeat the question? I apologize. I was thinking about
The question was about a formal youth environmental subcommittee. We did look into that, and the direction we received from city administration was that it's basically rolled into the mayor's youth council. We can still have an informal group, and again, we can find ways to give recognition and create programs around that. But as far as a formal group, we were advised to direct people to the mayor's youth council.
This is a wonderful conversation to have with your city council members because our staff are doing the best they can, and it's not on them, but it's really an interpretation of the municipal code. So again, once again, I hope that we can modify the municipal code. I happen to believe that the mayor's youth council serves a different purpose. Are there other questions or thoughts for this subcommittee?
I was going to suggest maybe have the art display, the artists' art displayed at the Earth Day Festival. And maybe Ray could have a booth talking about P22. I don't know if that's...
That's great. No, that's awesome.
So would we just reach out to city staff directly to work through the process of getting a booth, or what's the process for that?
Yeah.
Absolutely, you can reach out to me. There's an application online on our Earth Day website. We're in the process of updating that. We've already had a few individuals submit interest forms, but we can work with you if you'd like to have a table representing your club or your group.
That's a great suggestion. That's a great suggestion. And for those people, I know we already spoke about the forum, but the forum is going to have a number of booths, including one for city, right? For hopefully showing off some of the things we've accomplished, hopefully giving away battery boxes, one of Whitney's successes, and the young men that started that program, but hopefully also having Roots and Shoots, hopefully having some presentation about the bin for the plastic recycling. And so anyone who has other ideas, please let Melanie know. Let's make the forum, let's show off everything we're doing. Okay, great idea. Anything else? Yeah, Ray.
I just wanted to confirm that we will be having a P22 booth. Me and Ben, it's going to be more of like an informational thing. We're accepting like recommendations of schools we should go to, stuff like that. And of course, we're going to have a Roots and Shoots booth with volunteers, and we are going to be fundraising by selling succulents again.
Great.
You could sell the art as well.
No, it's going to be hung. It's going to be hung. You can discuss that privately with Gavin. All right, I think we're done with that. Adoption of a general work plan for the Environmental Commission. Environmental Management Analyst Melanie will be presenting us with a report.
Thank you, Chair Cohen. So
Thank
this
you.
is an item that we brought to the commission during the December special meeting. And since then, it's been updated to become a general work plan so that it serves as a general framework for the commission to follow moving forward. So we have some type of structure when we are scheduling our meetings, so we know what other kind of presentations and such we can incorporate. We went ahead and we included your suggestions during the December meeting into this work plan. It was shared with you on Thursday when the agenda was posted. So if you have any revisions, any questions, please let us know. If not, we will entertain a motion for this to hopefully approve.
I had a question for you. So when I was looking at the work plan last evening, let me find it. Is that for 2025 or is that for next year?
So this would just be a general work plan with our 4 meetings showing which items would normally take place during each meeting. And things can be moved around as we see fit. This can be amended at any time, and it's really meant to just be a working document that we can reflect on and make sure that we're completing those required annual activities.
Okay, because in recent years, I know that the Carl Gibbs Award was given out in February, which is stated here in February. But last year, we moved it to the December meeting. So I was just going to call your attention to that, but if this is just a loose framework, then you answered the question.
Exactly, and if you wanted to, for example, host a special meeting in December, commissioners can move to do so, and then say we will be discussing XYZ during that meeting, and then this framework will still serve its purpose.
May I just make a comment? Randy, your point is excellent, and I've said the same thing. I still think we should always have a December meeting, and I think whoever becomes chair for years to come, I recommend that you do that, but that you bring it up. But in terms of the framework, I think that it's a good thought. If there weren't, in the absence of a December meeting, the next meeting after November would be February. So, yeah, to me, it doesn't make sense that we're awarding the recycling poster kids in February when the calendars went out 2 months earlier, and Carl Gibbs, and I'm with you totally,
Right.
but it is, again, because the way it's written up is that our commission is supposed to have quarterly meetings. So I think that Melanie has done, and the staff have done as good a job as possible, given that we have 4 meetings that are memorialized.
I did also want to bring your attention to the last page. We have an as-needed section. So for example, if there wasn't anything that was included in this framework that you wanted to implement at another time, for example, at the end of our meeting, we have requests for future meetings.
Wait,
That
how
would
do we
be-
get to the last page?
I can scroll through on my end. Here we go, if that helps.
Oh, I see. So you for, I'm sorry, I apologize. Now, we were looking at the other monitor, sorry. User error. I apologize, Melanie, please continue, sorry. You were
Yes.
saying on the last page?
Yes, we have as-needed items, so if there was something that wasn't necessarily included in the November meeting, let's say you wanted to do a special meeting request, this is included in the as-needed section, and you could comment on this at the end of the agenda, for example, in the request for a future meeting items, and then entertain that, and we can possibly agendize it for a future meeting.
Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. I was on the calendar, the Waste Management Calendar Subcommittee this past year, and we had 1,500 entries, and staff does an amazing job. But then we have 13 or so kids with their families that are so excited to be recognized, and they show up, and they are there the whole time. They go through all the other meeting stuff, and that's a lot to cram into that February meeting. And if it's just a matter of when somebody else is taking over, then they just make a motion to have an extra meeting, if that's as easy as it is that what I'm hearing, that that's as simple as it is?
We would just agendize it maybe at the November or August meeting, requesting for a special meeting when we get closer to that date, so we can schedule that if the commission chooses to.
Could it be
request that.
agendized in May?
I could get some further information on that and ask.
Because the
If
room is a problem.
If
Let
the
us get
entire
back to you on
if the
that.
entire commission agrees that it's something they want, why not vote on it sooner as opposed to, I mean, it would help us in terms of planning.
Let me ask the city clerk. I don't know.
Okay.
That's a kind of a procedural question. We'll get back to you.
And it did work wonderful, by the way, in wherever we were. We were in Founders Hall.
They support us,
Yeah, I get
just
it.
so you know.
Okay.
They support us, they're dealing with
Yeah,
the city bureaucracy, so
yeah. It just worked well wherever we were in that room. So.
it appears to me that we all agree, it appears to me that they support us.
Okay.
If we want a December meeting, you
Logistics.
just have to, or whoever's the chair,
Okay, somebody just has to say.
every year, it's gonna have to be the same,
Got it.
but yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. Any other questions for Melanie's? All right. Do you need a motion or anything, Melanie's, or that? Oh, yeah, you do, right? So we need a motion to approve this plan, right, now that you've explained it? Do it, Whitney.
I will make a motion to approve the plan.
Well done.
I second it.
Thank you both.
Thank you. We have a motion from Vice Chair Schwartz, and we have a second from Commissioner Feilish. I will now do a roll call. Chair Cohen,
Yes.
Vice Chair Schwartz, Commissioner Byrne,
Yes.
and Commissioner Feilish.
Yes.
Thank you, and your work plan is adopted. I appreciate it. Thank you all very much.
You are welcome. All right, new business. Environmental Commission reorganization. Environmental Management Analyst. You know what, we gotta give you a better title. Can we just call you the,
That's a pretty cool title.
I think it should be like the Environmental Management Queen or something.
Yeah.
Can we just do that?
Well,
Can I make, who do we have to talk to at the city about that one, Curtis? I'll make
That's
a
out of my
formal-
purview.
Do I have to agendize that?
I recommend sticking to what's in the black and white there.
All right, done. Melanice, bring it on.
I wanted to first start off by thanking you, Chair Cohen and Vice Chair Schwartz, for your service in this commission. I know it's been quite a long term as you started serving in 2023. So thank you both for your wonderful service. And with that being said, we are looking for a new vice chair and chair to serve as the commission for the next year. So we will be hearing what you have to say and hopefully appointing a new chair and vice chair to serve 1-year terms each.
All right, I'm going to make a quick comment that it's been an honor serving as your chair. I look forward to supporting the next chair and vice chair. I also really appreciate all the efforts of the students. You've made this commission significantly better and made our city better. So I appreciate it, and I'll continue to work with you guys in whatever capacity. And then, with that said, I would like to nominate Vice Chair Schwartz. You can say no. but I'm nominating you.
Okay.
Because I want to. So I am nominating Vice Chair Schwartz to be to be the incoming chair.
Thank you for the nomination. I really just want you all to have the pleasure of that position. I've been chair. It is awesome. The gavel is so cool. But I want to, whether I'm chair or not, I'm giving 110%. So I just would like to nominate Larissa to be chair.
And I second that nomination.
Oh, well, then I second Whitney's. No. Okay.
Are you prepared to?
That's a big shoe to fill, but I would certainly give it a try if that's, I lean on you guys a lot to
We'll
help
all-
me
we'll all be
know
here
what
for
to
you.
do, so.
Well, I'll be here for you. Are there other nominations for chair? All right.
So we have a motion from Vice Chair Schwartz, soon to be Commissioner Schwartz, and a second from Commissioner Feilish. I will now do a roll call to have Commissioner Byrne as our new chair. So Chair Cohen,
Yes.
Vice Chair Schwartz.
Yes.
Larissa, Miss
Okay, yes.
Commissioner Byrne, and Commissioner Feilish.
Yes.
Wonderful. The motion passes. Congratulations, Larissa.
you.
And now we'll move on for the vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Randy Feilish
I
for
will
vice
second.
chair.
I will second.
Thank you very much. I would love that. Thank you.
So we have a motion by Vice Chair Schwartz, and we have a second from Chair Cohen. I will now do a roll call. Chair Cohen,
Yes.
Vice Chair Schwartz, Commissioner Byrne,
Yes?
and Commissioner Feilish.
Thank you. Yes.
Wonderful. We have a new chair and vice chair. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Guys, thank you.
We will now take a short recess to reconvene, and then we will begin with item number 6 in just a few moments.
So let's take 5 minutes.
upstairs team. I think we'll be ready in 1 minute.
She did.
This is all you have in
Okay.
your business.
Okay, right. That's
You're gonna be fine.
Got it.
You're gonna be great. Here, look.
Okay.
Take a recess.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. We're to the point where we get to talk about our student engagement and involvement subcommittee. And I'm going to leave it to Gavin, our student commissioner, to explain what his ideas are.
Yeah, I think we have a presentation shared. Does someone have the? Thank you. So this is the overview and proposal for the Pencil to Planet High School art competition, which has been pioneered by the Student Involvement and Engagement Subcommittee. And I'll dive a little bit more into the details. So just the introduction. So Pencil to Planet is an environmental conservation organization centered around Calabasas High School. And this program is seeking support from the City of Calabasas Environmental Commission. And the City of Calabasas Environmental Commission Student Involvement and Engagement Subcommittee conceptualized this idea in around August 2024 and worked with Calabasas High School to implement it into the art curriculum at Calabasas High School. And so this contest specifically seeks to encourage Calabasas High School students to express their views on environmental issues through art, with an emphasis on incorporating recycled materials to create synthesis between the ideas, materials, and processes. And so here are just like 3 mission pillars of the importance of the competition. So art as education, teaching environmental stewardship in a fun, creative way, empowering youth to become future environmental stewards, and community engagement by inspiring local students and residents to engage with sustainability efforts. And so just for the implementation of this program, we've met with Ms. Lynch, who's the head of the art department at Calabasas High School, multiple times. And she implemented this into her art curriculum, which will be recurring every year. And starting around mid-February, she will be first introducing this lesson plan. And she will then create a rubric and pass it on to the environmental commissioners, which you guys will then use to vote on the artwork and select the finalists. So now moving on to the commissioner's role, which is proposed, and that's what you'll be voting on today. So basically your role would be to support this art program and allocate which commissioners would specifically vote for the program. And this would include attending the art gallery event at CHS where the student artwork would be displayed. And the commissioners would then use Ms. Lynch's grading rubric to evaluate the artwork and select the finalists for the awards and recognition. And then the student finalists can also be honored at an environmental commission meeting, possibly the May meeting. And so the city's role would be supporting this program through promotion, communications, recognition, and through social media. And the city would also display the selected artwork in a public space, which would be available for community members to see, which would raise awareness. And here's a very tentative competition timeline. So In mid to late February, Ms. Lynch will be introducing this curriculum officially to her classes. And from then till mid-March, the students will be finalizing their submissions, and in mid-March, the submission period will end. And then the art gallery will be installed, and art show will begin in April. And then in mid to late April, the commissioners would come in and use Ms. Lynch's rubric to vote and select finalists. And then on the final day of the gallery at Calabasas High School, there would be an award ceremony. And then the artwork would be passed on to the city to display in a facility. And then the winners would be again, or the finalists would be again recognized at the May Environmental Commission meeting. So that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Student Commissioner Tesser. Any commissioner comments?
May I make a comment?
Yes, please.
So I wanted to recognize Gavin for all kind of thinking very thoroughly about involving even more students outside of the 200 art students and the people that I questioned him, and I was like, I'm not an art student. How can I get involved with this Pencil to Planet? And he replied back saying that, yeah, they can donate, recyclable materials or things like that, or art supplies. And I just thought that's a great idea to involve even more students that can help to save the planet and just be a part of this curriculum without even being in the class. So I just want to recognize that and also just shout that out so then other people can get involved without even being in the art program.
And also, just for clarification, all Calabasas High School students will be eligible to participate, not just the art department. Just the art department students will be required to do it as part of their curriculum, and they'll be receiving a grade for it. But there will be voluntary participation through APES classes, through extra credit, and as well as other students who are interested.
Yep, so it's not just limited to those. It's not just limited to the art classes. It's just all Calabasas High School, and hopefully we can implement this at Agora High School or even beyond.
Great. And this is a pilot feeling program. It feels like a pilot program to me, so that's awesome, seeing how it goes. Okay, commissioner comments?
Yeah, I just want to make a couple comments. One is Gavin, it was his idea, and kudos again for everything you've done. But I think it's also, I also want to mention that there's a whole group of students who are involved in this. Our subcommittee has met multiple times with this teacher, and I think it's also noteworthy that her background is environmental studies. And so she's really excited about the recycling and the message, and she's a rock star just from meeting her. And I also wanted to mention a couple other things that weren't brought up here. One is, it seems like the timeline is going to have this finish around Earth Day, so that would tie in nicely as well in terms of all of our efforts and all the programming that we're doing. At the high school, they're talking about hopefully installing the bench around Earth Day, and hopefully having having the environmental commissioners judge around Earth Day, and having it displayed by the city subsequently. And initially, when we met, I thought, oh, the art will be displayed in June, and it was actually, I met with my city council member, James Bazagian, and he pointed out that you don't want to do it in June because any kids who's a senior will have already graduated. Mm-hmm. So he said that he would be communicating with the Calabasas Community Center. He's got a relationship there, and so I guess the ownership of the community center officially transferred from, it was a shared venture with Agora, so I think this week it transferred. So he indicated that he believed that there would be wall space at the community center this year, and hopefully in future years we could potentially, depending on how the city, what the city's able to do, might potentially be able to put it in the gallery at the Tennis and Swim Center, where there's art displayed right around Earth Day. But I applaud this, and I am going to make a motion to support this.
Any other comments from commissioners?
Do we need to second that motion or no? Okay. You weren't asking us to make a motion, were you?
No,
Oh, okay, because you used the word motion.
I'm going to make a motion when I'm no longer the
Got it.
chair. I'm,
Right, oh, she's the motion maker. I just wanted to say, I love that you added recycled materials as part of the project, and it's pencil to paper. Is that what it's called? It's really, your newspaper background, that you painted over, it's super cool, the corrugated cardboard, it just is another really cool element for creatives to use. Like, if they don't paint or they don't use pencil, they're not going to be stopped to make something really cool.
I think it's fabulous.
I just wanted to say thank you, everyone, and I'm excited to move this program forward and see how the art turns out.
Exciting. Now, do I ask if someone would like to make a motion?
yeah. I would like to make a motion
Yes.
that we formally endorse this program and that we take on the responsibility to serve as judges. I'll stop, and then once there's a motion, I want to make a comment about
May I
that.
make a recommendation that we select which commissioners would like to vote so we can do one motion supporting the program as well as selecting whichever commissioners would like to vote, all done in one motion?
So, that's fine. So can I just point one thing out, that because of the Brown Act, we can't all go and discuss, but we can go, that's one of the things that we talked about with Ms. Lynch, right? It was, we would sign up for times when Whitney would go, David would go, right? We would each, to the art show. It's going to be displayed in a room off the library at Calabasas High School. So if someone doesn't want to take on that responsibility, that's perfectly fine. You're not obligated, but if you do want to be one of the judges, we have to let them know that there will be 4 of us or 5 of us or however many of us. Is that accurate? So
We have a motion to endorse this project. Is that the right word? To support this
You can
project?
say support.
Support this project and provide some judges for the contest end of it. Do I have anybody that wants to volunteer for that?
I will.
All of us then, right? I would love to.
I think it might be easier to say unless somebody doesn't want to be a judge.
Okay, then the commission would provide the votes for some of the votes for that contest.
Because that way the 5th person could,
Yes.
if they don't want to, they would say, I don't want to.
Okay.
But otherwise, they would be assumed that they're going to join.
Okay, so I make a motion to support this project.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you.
So we have a motion from Chair Byrne, and we have a second from Commissioner Schwartz. And all commissioners here will be participating as voters, so let me read back the motion. So we will be, the motion is to support the Calabasas High School Pencil to Planet contest and select all 4 commissioners to participate in the voting process.
Can I just offer a friendly amendment? So long as the program continues. Because one of the things we talked about in the past, Melanice, was after Gavin graduates, and if Miss Lynch isn't there, that if another art teacher comes and wants to continue to do this, we could continue to support it. So this is not just kind of like the calendar program, this is something that ideally will be ongoing, but so long as the school continues to have such a program.
That's a wonderful suggestion, Chair. I will get that implemented. Is the motion still under Chair Byrne's
Would you accept
preferences?
it's
Does
a
it-
friendly amendment?
Yes, I accept that amendment to the motion to support this Pencil to Planet project.
Wonderful, and we will now do a roll call. Before I go into the roll call, I did want to share some information. While working with the subcommittee, you did share your concerns about how many individuals could vote, so I did some further investigation and got some specific verbiage, so all commissioners can vote on the final artwork that will be recognized by displaying the artwork in a city facility when available and hosting the selected artist at an environmental commission meeting. Any or all of the commissioners can vote on the artwork along with community members or other voting bodies. Since this event is hosted by an outside agency, there is no violation of any policies. Please note, we ask that no more than 2 commissioners be in a given location at the same time to avoid any Brown Act violations or the appearance of a quorum of the body being together. It is important to recognize that the Brown Act restricts more than 2 commissioners doing commission-related activities outside of regularly scheduled meetings. Even if you are not discussing city business, it can still be perceived this way by the public.
Thank you.
So now I will entertain the roll call for that motion.
I just want to make sure that the language reflects that commissioners can not participate. That it, because it said
It's
all
voluntary
commissioners
based.
will participate, but just because this 5th person probably will want to, but in the event that he or she says, I don't want to do that, that we haven't obligated them. Does that make sense?
I think what we can do is move forward with the roll call vote, and we can put this on the next meeting agenda. Or we'll put it, if we have a new commissioner for the next meeting, we'll add this to the agenda to let that commissioner be part of the voting body or not. So
But if
that's the best way to do it.
if council member Weintraub picks a 5th person before the May meeting, and we're choosing the art in April, see, if she has someone at the March city council meeting, I just want that person to be able to say, yeah, I'm in, of course, or no thanks.
I think we can handle that offline too.
Fine. As long as you guys are, I just don't want it to be
Understood.
perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for voicing that. We'll make sure to address that.
Thank you.
Now we'll go into a roll call for supporting the program and selecting the 4 currently present commissioners to be voting bodies. Chair Byrne,
Yes.
Vice Chair Feilish,
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz, and Commissioner Cohen.
Yes.
Wonderful. The motion passes, and the Calabasas Environmental Commission is supporting the Pencil to Planet CHS contest.
Yay, Gavin, yay. Okay, now I go on to oral reports, correct? Does the commission have any communications? I think we've been through it. Anybody?
I was just going to suggest that you all call the Acorn when you do your bags to benches unveiling. I think it would be tremendous for the community to see that in the newspaper.
Good advice. Thanks, Whitney. Okay. Student commissioners, do you have any communications? Or did we cover all that? You're good? Okay. Staff, I think you have communications, don't you?
Wonderful. Thank you, Chair Byrne. Curtis, do you have anything you'd like to share? Okay, wonderful. So commissioners asked us to look into a few items. So here are those requested updates. Please bear with me while I walk through this. So in terms of student commissioners, it was previously asked that we look into potentially having more student commissioners. The municipal code specifically mentions that each commission will have 1 non-voting student commissioner, which is a resident in Calabasas and a high school student, and they only serve 1 term, and no alternatives are allowed. And this is done to ensure consistency amongst all commissions. Next, in terms of the Carl Gibbs Environmental Excellence Award, you asked us to look into the voting and the nomination process. We were able to confirm that all commissioners can nominate and vote on community members to receive this award. There's no need to abstain or recuse yourself from voting or nominating. Next, for Pencil to Planet, when we were speaking offline with the commission, the subcommittee, they had mentioned a few locations that they were interested in, such as Tennyson Swim Center and Community Center. These are not available for this year, but we were able to discuss with the library, and there are 2 potential locations. We can either do the children's story time room and pin those up in the walls, or the hall, which is the general open area. We could do easels or hang those artwork. We can continue collaborating with the subcommittee offline, but just bringing this to your attention and sharing with the group. Next, our 2025 calendars are ready, are printed and ready for pickup at City Hall. So if anyone would like to pick up one of the 2025 Community Recycling Awareness calendars, they're available here. And then for our upcoming events, which were covered during this meeting, we have our Environmental Forum on February 20th. We have our Arbor Day, which will be in March, and our Earth Day event that will be in April. Additionally, we're working with Vice Chair Feilish to create an anticoagulating rodenticides educational letter for businesses and HOAs, which will be sharing the new legislation with the community. And then the last one I had was you had asked for alternatives for a student commissioner group or task force. And a few alternatives are to join the Mayor's Youth Council, which has an environmental commission within itself, operate with one student commissioner and just continue in that way. We can also work with you to help you create a grassroots group and have them attend meetings, events, and such related to environmental commission and encourage those individuals to speak via public comment. And then we could also blend subcommittees to involve students informally. This is the conclusion of my updates. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'm glad to clarify.
Thank you. This is a time when I ask if any commissioners have any requests for future presentations or agenda items.
I would like to propose that we put on the agenda for banning the use of glue traps within the city limits of Calabasas, as other neighboring cities have done, including the city of West Hollywood, the city of Ojai. I think it's important because many people do not understand that when they put down a glue board or a glue trap, that it's not just the rodent that they're going to trap. They're going to be getting birds. They're going to be getting wildlife stuck in there. And or a kitten, feral kittens, and it's a very cruel and unnecessary thing to happen. So if we could add that to a future agenda item, I would appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll review your request and hope to get that on a future meeting.
Thank you. Anybody else? Good. Melanice? Then I say the next regular Environmental Commission meeting will be held on Tuesday, May 6th at 6 p.m. right here. And if there's no additional matters, I can adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
And the time is 7:51 for the record.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where can I see the time? Oh. There's the gavel.